So I'm doing this video today to call myself out for the last 13 days of content that I've put out on YouTube and just how flipping boring it's been, to be fair. Now, I'm a little bit of a sticking point at the minute with my content on YouTube. So back end of last year, I changed things up with the content that I was posting out on LinkedIn for this same reason that I'm feeling today. Absolute boredom at the stuff that I was putting out. Now, up until, say, last couple of weeks in December last year, I was just posting the same old content, how-to content, stuff about my business, all that kind of stuff. And I got to a point towards back end of the year where I was just that bored of what I was doing. It just didn't feel enjoyable. What I did at that point in time was I really started to focus on me as a person and try to get my personality across a little bit more in my content. Now, I would like to say I'm quite a funny person. I think I make my wife laugh quite regularly. I think that's probably one of the main reasons why she married me, to be fair. Now, I love to entertain people. I always have done. Love to make people laugh. Love to make people smile. And what I found when I started making content on LinkedIn that was daft, that was funny, that was completely absurd in some of the cases as well, was I actually, when I was sitting down to write the content, I was sat there buzzing to actually create that bit of content, messing about with using AI image generators and making stupid images of myself, taking piss out of myself a little bit, taking piss out of certain problems that people experience on a day-to-day basis, that kind of stuff, rather than the old boring generic content that I was doing before. And it started to get some attention, and from that, obviously, I started to feel better about making that type of content. A lot of people would say the type of content I was making probably isn't for LinkedIn, but that's what I say to those people. Don't think there's any type of content that you can't put on LinkedIn, really. And yeah, buzzing about it. So, come to the last few days now, where my obviously a big goal for me for this year is to start growing my YouTube channel, this one now. And I didn't really know what sort of content to do. I knew I'd tried in the past doing, again, the same how-to content, how to make your website better, how to do this, how to do that. And all the time when I've ever made that type of content, just sitting there thinking, you know, there's loads of other people doing it on YouTube, they're successful at it, so I'll do the same. Didn't really get me buzzing, didn't really get the juices flowing at all, and I guess just kind of making that content because it was safe to do that. So the last 13 days, I've posted a video every single day to this channel. It's just been me walking down this beautiful beach, talking to you on the camera, and whilst I've enjoyed the process of getting the camera out, going for a walk and just having a talk, when I've looked back over the last few videos, it's the same old, it's just boring, me talking to a camera, the same way I'm doing now. I know this is contradictory, me talking to a camera and doing the same thing that I'm seeing tons and tons and tons of other people doing on YouTube, where they're just talking to a camera. I'm just bored stiff of it. But this is what's going on in my head now, because I ain't got a clue how to go from the content that I've been making on LinkedIn, humorous, the proper side of me, my actual voice, you know, the funny, stupid, absolutely ridiculously daft Dave, the class clown. I've always been known as a class clown. I've done that in short form content as well, which has worked really good. So short form video content, where it's just been totally absurd, me doing daft things, and those videos have performed really well. To now coming to YouTube, and how the bloody hell am I meant to do that on YouTube? Got no idea. So I'm a little bit stuck now in my head about how to actually do it. Yeah, it's doing my head in a little bit, to be fair. But this is the whole thing with YouTube, I guess. And again, the long form content is something relatively new to me. So again, I'm still learning learning this side of things and trying to find that voice that I know is there, that I enjoy getting out, because that is me. but how to actually transform it over onto a long form piece of content ready for a YouTube channel. To be fair, the last few videos I set out with a purpose of just getting the camera out, coming up with a quick idea, not thinking or overthinking the video too much, not scripting it out and sitting there for ages back and forth with ChatGPT trying to get the perfect script or the perfect outline and all that rubbish. Building my confidence up on the camera as well, you know, building the cadence up of just getting the video camera out, coming up with the idea quick and just getting it shot, getting it edited and getting it uploaded, which is still what I want to do with the YouTube channel going forward. But I need to find my voice again on this sort of content format, which again is what I'm struggling to figure out, because yeah, I've loved making these last few videos, but it's just starting to twig now in the back of my head. You're just making the same content that everybody else is making. You're not really sounding any different to everybody else. You're not sounding like how I would be when me and the wife are just sat there just messing about, or when I'm with my mates down in the pub or whatever, pissing about. When I'm just talking to people in the various networks and communities that I'm part of. It's just that, I don't know what it is. When you press record and you've got to talk to a camera for 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes or whatever, it's just a little bit more difficult, I think. So yeah, still finding my feet with it all. I'm enjoying the process and I'm enjoying the, you know, just actually getting out and getting the video camera out. And I know it'll come eventually. You know, I've maybe posted, it'll be hundreds of posts to LinkedIn. Whereas how many posts have I done to YouTube now? This will be maybe 15, 20 at the most altogether. I know it'll come, just need to keep practicing at it and kind of edging that voice out of me when I get get it in my head that I've got to talk to a camera for 8 or 9 minutes or whatever it might be. So I'm slowly getting there. Feeling a lot more confident on camera. That's a massive positive. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking about this morning. And yeah, if you're one of the people that's been watching any of the videos over the last 13 days, I applaud you, especially if you've managed to make it to end at videos. And keep following along. Things are going to be changing. Might not necessarily be changing in terms of the format, because just walking and talking or talking to a camera, that's absolutely fine. That format in itself, it's what I'm actually saying. And am I being my true, authentic, silly bastard self? Or am I letting that fear and holding back a little bit? Which I think is probably what's going on, in all honesty. So how do I break out of that? I don't know. I think it's just keep going, keep pushing on, like I have done with everything else, with short form content, with the LinkedIn content, and we'll get there eventually. Who knows? Could be a Grammy award winning YouTuber inside me yet. I don't know. Keep watching, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you on next video.